What's up, guys? It is Monday, January 15th, 2024. We're doing the pregame for this week. Get you ready for uh, Thursday night's episode of the Final Score with myself and Matthew Bazemore. Hope you guys, of course, it's Martin Luther King Day. Hope you guys are, if you're off, I hope you're enjoying your day off. Seems like it's getting really cold in North Carolina where we're at. In eastern North Carolina, it's going to get even colder tomorrow night. We're talking about really the weekend's going to be even colder. But we had a really, uh, I don't know if you say surprising or what, weekend of the Super Wild Card. Still got two more games to go. Um, Cold has had a lot to do with stuff in this game, the weather, and affected the wild card games a lot more than we thought they would. Starting with Saturday night at Kansas City, the Miami Kansas City game that was pretty cold. We'll get into that in just a second. And of course, the game that was scheduled for yesterday afternoon with the Steelers and the Bills at Buffalo had to be rescheduled to this afternoon at 4:30 because of a freaking super blizzard that they're still trying to uh, dig their way out of in Buffalo. And from what they're saying now, fans may have to sit on piles of snow at the stadium. So that should be interesting to see, and we'll get into that, what we think about the game in just a little bit. But first off, let's talk about these games. We led off Saturday in a game that I was, I was up in the air about it. I did pick Cleveland to win, but man, it's Houston for real or what? D'Amico Ryans, my hat's off to you, but if you don't get Coach of the Year for this, your rookie year, taking a rookie quarterback and just molding this team into what you wanted so quickly, um, and they just demolish the Browns 45-14. Flacco, was it two pick sixes Flacco threw? Um, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Cleveland, you got in one and done. It's a typical Cleveland thing. Miles Garrett, who was the supposed defensive player of the year, not even, not even out there. I mean, he is like a ghost. Had no effect on that game at all. Um, so take that, and yeah, I will throw some shade at Miles Garrett. Everybody wants Miles Garrett Defensive Player of the Year. Freaking shut up with that crap. That he doesn't affect plays. They say, well, they're double teaming and triple teaming him. They do the same thing to T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt still managed to lead the league in sacks and got what, six more sacks than Garrett did. Yeah. So yeah, Cleveland goes home. Houston moves on with, I mean, just a romp, 45-14. And then your nightcap game, which was what, the wind chill was like negative 31. Poor Taylor Swift up there in her box that was the windows were frozen. Oh, poor Taylor. She couldn't pay for some heat up there in that box with all that money she made. But surprisingly enough, and everybody talks about all these years with the Chiefs that, and with good reason, the offense, Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill when he was there, and you see the game playing in the background. Bad moment for Cowboy fans right there. Pick six. Anyway, but this year, if they're going to win anything, the defense is going to be what gets them there because they shut down. Tyreek Hill had that early touchdown, and after that, he was quiet. So was the Miami Dolphins offense. Excuse me. One of the high-powered offenses, just nowhere to be found. That seemed to start a trend in the playoffs as Kansas City gets a win 26-7. Did you see Mahomes' helmet get cracked? I like Robert Matthews. I'm gonna throw something out. Shout out to Robert Matthews talking about that wouldn't happen if he wouldn't slam his freaking helmet down every little temper tantrum he had. Yeah, that was pretty good. But with that cold, I guess that's what caused that little piece to come out when he took that hard shot. And also think about if you're at Arrowhead Stadium, you pay like $20 for a beer, and you can't even set it down or have it out in your hand without it freezing and bursting. I mean, it burst. There's pictures out there everywhere of it. Um, I thought it was hilarious. There's no way, and I love the Steelers, and if I lived close to the stadium, if you're telling me it's going to be negative 30 degrees, it's going to feel like that with the wind chill, I'm not going to that game. I don't want to be miserable out there. And who knows, frostbite, stuff like that. That's for you, Joe Decker. Joe Decker, my buddy, good buddy up there in New York. Hope you're doing well. I don't know that that kind of surprised me. I thought I did pick the Dolphins to win that Thursday night, but I'm 0 for 2 so far, and my losing continues as going to the Sunday games, which you didn't have a 1:00 game and made for a long afternoon. I was off yesterday, and that made for a long afternoon till 4:30. But you got a doubleheader. You got doubleheaders all 3 days, so what can you do? Going into this game, my remarks Monday night or Thursday night on the final score when I made my pick was, I don't think it happens this week to the Cowboys. And what I was talking about, the meltdown, I didn't think it would come so early. And boy, did it happen. You can see in the background the score. This is before the half, 27-0. And it was actually 27-7.5. And actually that touchdown the Cowboys scored before the half shouldn't have counted because the guy jumped off sides. Dak looked like a rookie quarterback at his first start. Oh, yeah, everybody's like, if you look at the box score and you didn't watch the game, he had over 400 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He had that in garbage time. Oh, gosh. Who's my Facebook user here? Thank God the Cowboys are the same team again. Fly, Eagles, fly. I don't know who this is. It must be Murph. Is it Murph? It's showing Facebook user. Murph, if that's you, thank you, buddy. Yeah, they showed they were the same team again. I just didn't think. Oh, it's Tyler Rouse, good friend of the show and past guest of the show. He's been on the show. Big supporter of the show. Appreciate it, Tyler. Lay that call right there in the background. That's not a horse collar. That's not a horse collar. They need to have something in place where you can look at these plays, or New York calls in on these plays. Oh, that's okay. Give it to the Cowboys. They're already down 27-0. Guys, Dak he looked like a rookie quarterback at his first start. I mean, the pick six he threw right then, he didn't even. I mean, he was staring down that receiver. And like I said, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. It wasn't Dak's fault. No, it wasn't all Dak's fault, but he contributed a lot to it. He missed some wide open passes. I mean, he threw some screen passes. He should have had on this drive right here in the end zone. The only thing that saved him from not throwing another pick is the linebacker for the Packers had iron hands. He dropped a interception right in his hands, which that should have taken away that touchdown. Oh, the game was 48-32. You scored a lot. Look, the Packers played their backups most of the fourth quarter. Of course, the Cowboys were going to come back then. They looked like a well-oiled machine against the backups, but come on. 48-32, and that game was not as close as that score got. And blame Dak. Yeah, I'll blame Dak. Dak looked like trash. But your defense, Cowboy fans, looked like trash too. Aaron Jones was running. I mean, he had a hole every time he carried the ball. 3 touchdowns. I think he scored. I don't know how many he scored all year, but he had 3 against you guys. And this big defense with Parsons. Parsons was like a ghost after the first 2 possessions. He got 2 holding calls called against the linemen that were trying to block him. After that, I never heard his name mentioned the rest of the night. The secondary was getting torched. How many plays did you see a wide open Packers receiver going down the sidelines? Musgrave one time, Dobbs one time, where the communication evidently for the Cowboys was terrible in the secondary because they left these guys wide open. But yeah, and Jordan Love, what can you say about that? He looked. Matthew Bazemore texted me yesterday, said he looks better every game, and he does. He looks better every game. Big matchup against the 49ers next week. We'll see. But they are definitely, and these guys are young. This is a young Packers team, young core in that offense. We'll see. We'll see how it goes next week. And then the nightcap last night, which was the most intriguing game, I thought, of the whole whole wild card, super wild card weekend. The Lions and the Rams. Goff versus Stafford. The 2 guys got traded for each other. Of course, Stafford leaves, longtime Detroit Lion, and leaves and goes to the Rams and gets the Super Bowl. There's the play right there. That should have been an interception. I don't think the booing that Stafford got was justified because he stuck with the Lions all those years. Look at that. That should have been a pick. Where's Dak throwing to? He stuck with some bad teams for the Lions. He probably got pieces of him all over that field in Detroit. So the booing, I don't see it. I mean, if he had gone, you probably wouldn't have got the coach you got now. You probably would have got the draft. I mean, the draft picks you got you some of these weapons that have made you into the team you are now. I just don't. I don't understand the hate. I mean, he went somewhere else and got him a ring. Maybe you guys can get you a ring. The way you're playing, it's a definite possibility. And Dallas, now that Dallas is out, you know, you got to take it one game at a time, but you can gun for the 49ers now. So that the big game, and it was a exciting game. The Lions get the win 24-23. What about, you can't say enough about Nakua, the rookie wide receiver for the Rams, and maybe I'm butchering his name. He set a rookie record for receiving yards in the playoffs, and I think he was 3rd on the list for 3rd for your debut game, 3rd most yards for a debut game in NFL playoffs. So future might look bright in Los Angeles too with the Rams. I hate it for my buddy and co-host of the Triple Threat Main Event, Jack Pinocchio. He's a big time Rams fan, but that was it. That was a good game. That was a good game. Today, starting at 4:30, the Bills host the Steelers in what's going to be probably going to be a game like you've never seen before. Sorry, my eyes twitching a little bit. Game like you've never seen before as far as weather goes. Just seeing the pictures at the field and the people trying to shovel out. It should be interesting. Should be interesting to say the least. And the wind's supposed to be up. You're not going to have a lot of passes there. I just don't know how that's going to work. You're going to have to run the ball. I think you had to run the ball, I think, to win this game, because passing, I just don't see it happening for anybody today with those wins. Josh Allen may have a cannon on him, but if he tries, and the short passes will be okay, but those bombs, I wouldn't look to see many of those. If it does, it's not going to end well, I don't think, for you there. Let's see. So the nightcap game is the Buccaneers hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Baker Mayfield, a little banged up, but I'm sure he's going to play. I picked, in the other game, I picked Buffalo to win, guys. I'm a Steelers fan through and through, but I know I don't drink the Kool-Aid, like I said, what you would say to think that, do they have a chance? Yeah, they've got a chance. They're there. Nobody thought Green Bay would beat Dallas, especially the way they did. But it's going to be a tough game, and I've got Buffalo winning that. But the nightcap game, I've got Tampa Bay beating Philly. Philly just hasn't showed up the last 3 or 4 weeks. Ever since that San Francisco game, Philadelphia has not shown up. They haven't been the same team. The A.J. Brown's out. So there's one of your big weapons down there. Defense hasn't been the same. I know their secondary is a little banged up. I got Tampa Bay winning this, guys. And I think, I'm sorry, Tyler. Sorry, Tyler. I'm just being honest. And you know yourself, the way they've been playing, if they don't step it up tonight, the playoffs, they're going to go down. I'm picking Tampa Bay. I may be wrong. I haven't had much. Tyler, you can take it as a good sign. I've only got one game right the whole weekend. So I'm 1-3 so far. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I know. Yeah, Tyler saying our defense is trash. I hope you're wrong though. Well, I don't know. We'll see. They're gonna have to show me a lot more than what they've been showing me. Excuse me. So now, automatically, with that big thrashing they took last night, everybody's saying, what's the future for Mike McCarthy? What's the future for the Cowboys? Jerry Jones was just saying he was floored. He didn't have any words to say. He couldn't say anything about, he didn't think they would have got beat like they did. I got a feeling something's coming. I mean, McCarthy may be gone. They're already talking about, of course, everybody's saying the coaches, 5 coaches' names that the Cowboys should go after, and McCarthy's gone. But this is nothing unusual, guys. This happens every year with Dallas here lately. Happens every year. Is it McCarthy's fault? Possibly. He's the coach. You got to put it somewhere on the coach. Is it Dak's fault? I would say Dak had a lot to do with that. No matter what the Cowboy fans think, Dak, you can do everything in the world right and have a MVP caliber season and then get to the playoffs and it's a whole different atmosphere. Pressure is a little bit more. Dak seems like when the pressure's on him, he doesn't show up. And, I mean, that's exactly what I've said. We'll see how Baltimore does because it's the same case. You can make the same case for Lamar Jackson. MVP caliber years, 2019, he was the MVP. First round bye, home field. They lose the divisional round to Tennessee. And he is not impressive. He's not the same Lamar Jackson he was all year long. I just don't know. It's too early to say, but you know how Jerry is. Jerry's not getting any younger. Jerry Jones is not getting any younger. And he wants to see a Super Bowl come to Dallas. And he'll do whatever it takes to try to make that happen. I just don't know, guys. It's typical Dallas. I thought maybe next week it would happen. That they would get past Green Bay, and it would be whoever they played next week they would lose to. But surprise, surprise, sir, like Gomer Pyle, surprise, surprise, surprise. Sorry, Cowboy fans, but that's the way it goes. You should be used to this by now. It happens every year. I can't say anything. My Steelers have not had success in the playoffs here lately. and I really don't think it'll change today. Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh. Word is he is meeting with the Chargers for an interview today. I'm like my man Daryl Badham, who was a big part of the Final Score Facebook group, and big supporter of the show. I think the Chargers should try their best to get him, do whatever it takes to get him there. Will they do that? I don't know, but I think it would be a good fit. He loves Justin Herbert, so maybe it's a good fit. Maybe it's a good fit for Harbaugh in with the Chargers. Let's see. Did you see Stafford's kids, the jackets they were wearing last night when they came out on the field? The back of it said Detroit-born LA Rays. So a little tribute to they know where they come from, and that's what I don't say. You know, I mean, guys, I know you're diehard Lions fans, and I'm happy for you guys. First playoff win in 32 years since 1991 at Detroit. I saw the fans crying out there. It makes you feel good to know you got guys out there that are fans out there that loyal, and it means that much to some people that aren't sports fans don't get it, but I get it. I get it. When something like that happens, it's a special moment, and yeah. So Joe Flacco comes back down to earth Saturday. I mean, everybody was like, old man Joe, this, and talking about Joe Flacco, blah, blah, he's terrible. Guess what? Without him, Browns don't make the playoffs. He's the reason they got to the playoffs. He guided that team coming off the couch to the field and guided that team to the playoffs. Take your hat off to him, guys. He is a former MVP, former Super Bowl champion. Like I said, the storyline I would have liked to see was him somehow lead the Browns and knock off the Ravens, to get back at the Ravens, and for the Browns to get back at the Ravens. That would have been a good storyline. Some of these people say the NFL is scripted. If that was scripted, I think that might have happened. So, Jordan Love, the hero of the day yesterday, I would call it that. Maybe this will be a new segment. The hero of the day, like Metallica song. Jordan Love. I mean, you look at they started off the season 2-5, and after that Thanksgiving Day win over the Lions, he's been on. 18 touchdowns to 1 interception. I think he started off the year that first 7 games, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So 18 touchdowns and 1 interception. Something's clicking with this guy right now. And it's going to have to be next week when they travel to San Francisco for the 49er game. But we'll talk about that more on Thursday. Coaching changes. A lot of coaching changes happening, guys. Mayo is now the head coach at New England. I think that was already set up by Belichick before he resigned, or before he made before they mutually parted ways. I'll put it that way. Yeah, I think as quick as that went through, I think Belichick had something to do with it, and it was already a done deal after that, because it was done the next day after his press conference. Nobody else really. I think Antonio Pierce should be the head coach of the Raiders. I know he's the front runner now. He came in and did a great job as the interim head coach. The players love him. I think what's the kid's name? Max Crosby has come out and said that he would ask for a trade if Antonio Pierce was not brought back. So you got to look at that. The players love him. He had them going in the right direction. I think he would be a good fit with the Raiders. He got that defense playing their butt off. They do need a quarterback. But you look at it. The quarterback didn't complete a pass for 3 quarters, and they still beat the Chiefs. That defense was on par that day. All right, so I'm going to show you here. We've got another interview up. If you guys want to check it out, there's the link to it. If you watch it on Apple, if you want to listen to it on Apple, with legendary Notre Dame quarterback from the early 90s, Rick Meyer, who went on to be the second pick in the NFL draft, played for the Seahawks, played for a little bit of everybody. Didn't have quite the NFL career he wanted, but still a legend. I remember watching him many a day with the Fighting Irish. We talk about all that. We talk a little bit about his teammates. He played with some great ones. One he mentions a lot is Lake Dawson, who was a wide receiver for the Fighting Irish. I think he went on to the Chiefs for a little while. Didn't have a long NFL career, but also had a few years with the Bus with Jerome Bettis. We actually talk about Rudy Rudiger. That comes up in it, but you can check that out if you want to. And then you can also watch us on the YouTube channel. If you're not watching us on YouTube, check it out. We put a lot of different stuff up there. This is the YouTube channel. You can go up there and subscribe. We need subscribers. We need 5-star reviews for the podcast, guys. If you find it in your heart to do that, it doesn't cost anything. All you got to do is go, if it's Spotify you listen to it at, find me on Spotify. Wherever you listen to your podcast at, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. It helps get our name out there more. And then when we request interviews with some of these guys, they see that. They see it out there quicker, and they're more apt to do an interview with us. So please, guys, if you got it in your heart to do it, it doesn't take like 2 minutes. Just leave a 5-star review or subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would help us. It would help us a lot, guys. But let me take that down so y'all go. All right, so that's going to do it for this pregame this week. Like I said, Thursday night, if everything's planned for Thursday night, me and Matthew will be back, and we'll give a more in-depth what we think about all these playoff games. We'll talk about the 2 playoff games from today. Hopefully a Steelers win is going to be there. We'll see. But you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you Thursday night on the Final Score. Thank you, Tyler Ross. Thank you, John Murphy. Thank you, all of you out there listening and watching. We'll see you Thursday night on the Final Score.